Welcome back to No Filter Auto. Today, we're crossing the Atlantic. The automotive spark has been lit in Germany and systematized in France. But in a small bicycle shop in Springfield, Massachusetts, two brothers are about to prove that American ingenuity is ready to join the race. This is the 1893 Duryea Motor Wagon. It is not the first American car. It is the first American car that worked. And it would win the first car race on the continent, kicking off America's own automotive obsession. Let's set the stage. America in the 1890s is a nation of inventors, tinkerers, and industrial ambition. Charles and Frank Duryea were bicycle mechanics. They read of the European experiments in horseless carriages and saw not a finished product, but a challenge. Their creation, built in a second-floor loft, was a pragmatic, Yankee interpretation of the automobile. It looked like a light, high-wheeled buggy, but with a complex web of belts, chains, and levers where the horse should be. The hook wasn't avant-garde design, but stubborn, homegrown functionality. It was a machine built by mechanics, for a practical, no-nonsense world. But here's the no-filter truth of the Duryea's significance. While often overshadowed by the Europeans, the Duryea Motor Wagon was a masterpiece of adaptive engineering. The brothers didn't have a Daimler license. They built their own four-stroke, single-cylinder engine from scratch, a water-cooled unit that was more sophisticated in some ways than the Benz original. They then fitted it to a modified horse buggy with a revolutionary addition, a friction clutch and a 3-speed transmission of their own design, allowing smoother control than the crude belt systems often used. The appeal was its proof of concept on American soil. It demonstrated that the complex technology of the automobile could be understood, replicated, and improved upon by independent American tinkerers. It was accessible ingenuity. Now, let's talk about the pure, unfiltered experience. Operating the Duryea was an intricate dance. You'd prime the cylinder with gasoline, advance the spark, and give the horizontal flywheel a spin. When it caught, the engine settled into a loud, rhythmic, and confident chug. You'd climb onto the buggy seat, grasp the tiller for steering, and control your speed with a complex series of levers, one for the friction clutch, another to engage the gear, and a third to act as a throttle. The motion, once underway, was surprisingly sprightly. The high wheels were good for the rough roads of the era. You were exposed, vibrating with the engine, surrounded by the smells of hot metal and oil, and in direct, mechanical command of a vehicle that felt both familiar as a buggy and thrillingly new. It was a tinkerer's triumph made tangible. Here is the reality of its historic moment. The Duryea's greatest claim to fame came on Thanksgiving Day, 1895. In Chicago, amid snow and slush, Frank Duryea entered the Chicago Times-Herald race, America's first automobile competition. Against electric and gasoline rivals, including a Benz, he piloted a newer Duryea model over a grueling 54-mile course. He won. That victory was a national spectacle. It proved to the American public that the gasoline automobile was not just a fad, but a viable, reliable, and American technology. It provided the publicity splash that would attract the investors and dreamers, like Ransom Olds and Henry Ford, who would soon flood the field. So, the no-filter comparison. In 1893, its only real rivals were the imported Benz and the few struggling American experiments. Compared to the Benz, the Duryea was arguably more sophisticated in its transmission. Compared to other American attempts, it was simply more successful. It wasn't competing on luxury or speed, it was competing on sheer, demonstrable workability. It appealed to the American spirit of can-do independence and mechanical prowess. It was the garage-built underdog that proved it could run with, and even beat, the established European order. The legacy of the Duryea Motor Wagon is the seed of the American auto industry. It was the first successful chapter in a story that would crescendo with Detroit's global dominance. It shifted the narrative, proving the automobile wasn't purely a European art form, but a global technology anyone with skill and grit could master. It was the spark in the new world. The 1893 Duryea Motor Wagon stands as a monument to practical ambition. It is the gritty, noisy, brilliant proof that an idea, once loosed upon the world, cannot be contained by a notion. It wasn't the most elegant or the first, but it was the one that worked well enough to start a race. And in America, the race was everything. If this kind of story about underdog inventors and foundational moments gets your motor running, make sure you're subscribed to No Filter Auto. Let us know in the comments, Do the Duryea brothers deserve more credit in the story of the car?